All right, guys, welcome back to another episode through Comic Monte on comicbookinvest.com. As always, the guys are here with us. This week we got Lee Loughridge with us, and I think I said his last name right. I always screw it up, but if you don't know his name, then you're obviously not reading the best comics out there right now with AWA and his Image books and everything. He is a colorist for a lot of awesome books. When Pete and I looked up his long list of books he did, it was like 2,000 plus issues, and we're like, shit. How does he do that many books and color them? And we were like, wow.
Like I knew a few, but once I looked up, like hit Comic Vine up, and it's like 1,977 returns. I'm like, holy shit!
Well, that's how many. Last time I looked, it was like 1,500. That's all the price up.
Fables and Hellblade. It was tons of stuff.
But you're doing what, 6 things for AWA right now, or it feels like I looked at the list and I'm like, you're coloring almost all of them for Axel. He just called you up and said, hey, can you just color them all?
Yeah. I wasn't supposed to do, like, initially. I got gifted Bad Mother and Resistance, and but the other ones, that was Axel starting that line, and I kind of, he hit me up to do a few. But if you open that pantry, I'm gonna try to rate it. But Axel also knows that he had to get stuff done quickly, and I moved pretty fast, and he knows, like, I'm not gonna jerk him around. A lot of guys.
You get me to buy a lot of books, Axel.
You get to work with some pretty fabulous artists doing that stuff too. Like the list of artists that he has lined up working those different books. You're like, oh, you get to color with this guy, and you get to color. I mean, does that matter to you, or do you just say, hey, I like the story? I mean, when you're coloring.
No, I look at the art first.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, I'll know if that artist kind of matches my style, because I'll see art that demands like more of a dipped in oil, I call it, that real flashy kind of stuff, which I can do, but I don't like doing. I think it doesn't service the art unless the art's kind of shitty. or maybe sometimes not. It's just not what I try to do. I try to tone it down. I'm not Michael Bay. I'm not the Michael Bay.
But I mean, like when we pull up, especially I guess for me, the reason I jumped on your name, or like, hey, let's see if we can get you on, was Deadly Class. I love that book, and those are some of the ones where the cover. I feel like you did the cover as well. Like a lot of times, colorists don't get to do don't seem like you guys do the covers. It was the entire book.
I did a few, but Wes does a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Wes has pretty strong opinions on stuff he likes, which is, most of the time the right opinion, in my opinion. A lot of opinions, but that book is fantastic, because that book I did it flat. Mm-hmm. Rick lived in my neighborhood at the time, and then he came over, and we were beating around ideas, and I'm going to revise history however I want, because I'm telling the story right now. I wanted it flat. I believe Wes wanted it flat. Then Rick made me do it rendered. And if you look at old solicitations for that book, you could see the modeled stuff.
Okay.
And then like 4 days later, he came over, and I think after they solicited, he goes, no, you're right. We should go flat. And which I agreed with. I think you don't really remember a lot of the great books for looking normal. Looking run-of-the-mill or house style, in my opinion. So if I could do simple, I would do that. I'd go like monochromatic with a pop on every page if I could.
Well, that's Stumptown. I mean, like when I think of the iconic books, yours that you cut, like your colors make it. But like that was one Pete brought up. He's like, dude, Stumptown. I didn't realize you did that. And then it's like.